What are you running away for? What was that about?
White people are inferior.
White people are inferior?
I did that because I wanted to. Told the police,
You throw food at my girlfriend who's white because white people are inferior?
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say to you. Told the police it's fine. Are you going to keep following me?
Yeah, I'm going to keep following you.
What are you going to do?
We'll find out where you work.
No, you're not going to find
Yeah, I will. It's going to go viral.
I don't want to be in house.
You should have kicked off there. You told you to sign when you want.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, Flesh to the Father. Today's video, I want to explain that we should not give way to hate and how to overcome these problems. Let's go. Now, what we need to understand is the reason there's so much hate is because it's ideological subversion. Yuri Bezmenov touched on this. It's basically a communist Marxist tactic to divide people so that you can control them. And two fantastic examples I've noticed recently is there's so much hatred towards white people from black people. And there is a lot of pushback. And naturally, when you see it, I'll put a clip on here now, you do get angry. But we also need to understand that, for example, that woman on the video is just as much of a victim because she's been brainwashed into a system of hate. And this has happened over probably the last 2 to 3 decades. Because if you look here, here's a video of how it used to be.
This 90s interview where black people were asked their opinion on white people has gone viral because the answers are very different from today.
What do you think of white people?
White people, they straight, you know. They just like me, you know.
Okay.
All white people ain't in the same boat, you know what I'm saying? Because like you, I mean, if you was a prejudiced white man, you wouldn't be standing here talking to us, right?
Sure.
So I don't have anything against you.
Just like me. Just a different color of skin, that's about it.
You find there's a difference in the way you're treated by white people as opposed to black people?
They haven't treated me wrong in no kind of way.
Never?
Never.
Nothing wrong with white people. I love them just like I love the blacks.
Okay, so you can see from that, people were taught to love and not hate. And even you had someone I follow says the regime wants to go back to Fresh Prince and end all the racial hatred for the time being, whilst they let things settle down to maintain their power. But essentially, even on the 90s kids documentaries that I watched when I grew up, it was all anti-racism, love one another, don't hate one another. You'd have film like Remember the Titans, White Men Can't Jump. And all of those films were promoting racial unity. Whereas as time's gone on, it's promoting anti-white rhetoric mainly. And it's not being done for the services of black people and to help black people. It's done to control black people into the Democrat leftist ideology and also use them to persecute the white people and cause division, and they can maintain votes, control and power. And not only with that, you also see it with something like feminism. They always start out good. So feminism is just, okay, we need some women's rights. So the first wave is, it makes sense. Okay, certain things, rights women don't have that they should have. Okay, that's a fair enough thing. But then similar with the black anti-white hatred, it's gone from women's rights to hating men. Whereas the racist message was, don't be racist, let's all get along with each other. That's how it started. And it's become into anti-white rhetoric. The women's rights started with, okay, let's try and get equal, reasonably fair rights for women. A good thing. But now it's turned into man-hating nonsense to pit men and women against each other. And the reason I do this video is to tell everybody, as Jesus said and as the Bible correctly says, do not give way to hate. And they said at the end times, or the depth of the dark age, the end of the Kali Yuga, there's going to be a lot of hatred and division in the world because we're spiritually completely blind. And do not give way to hate. And that's what we need to do. And we need to do it by being born again of the Spirit, understanding we're all children of God, but also being wise to understand, are we being subverted? Why are we being taught to hate? You know, if you're a young black person, think, why am I kept being brainwashed to hate white people? If you're a woman, ask yourself, why am I being brainwashed to hate men so much? Why am I being taught to hate rather than to love, which is our true inner nature? You know, even if you're a white Western person, ask yourself, why is there so much anti-Semitism being promoted among white people. And not just white people, but Westerners. You see the likes of Candace Owens, Kanye West, Nick Fuentes. They're obsessed with hating the Jews irrationally. And I believe it comes from the Catholic and Christian faith, which gives the agenda, you know, the Jews are the Antichrist and Christ killers, which is based on false teachings. So my advice to everybody is do not give way to hate. But also, if people like myself, when I stand up to the hateful people and the evil people, that's not me being hateful. That's me standing up to hate. So I do a lot of videos against Islam because I believe Islam is another hateful ideology in terms of it believes that if you're a Muslim, then you're okay. If you're not a Muslim, you're a disbeliever, you're an infidel. And I believe that causes division and hatred towards non-Muslims. So when I speak out against Islam, I'm speaking out because I want people to overcome hateful ideologies, and everybody needs to love one another because we're all children of God. We're all children made in the image of Christ, children of the Father, and we can be united in that. So when I speak out against the hatred, I'm not being hateful myself. I'm trying to get everybody to unite in the spirit of Christ and the Father. And it even says, Jesus said, blessed are the peacemakers. That's what I am. I'm a peacemaker trying to fight against hatred. And I think you should not have any fear or doubt that you should fight against hateful and evil people. So if you see people promoting religious bigotry, religious hatred, racial hatred, any form of hatred, you shouldn't feel that you're wrong to do so, or that you're being divisive. You're not being divisive. And it's actually a sin not to stand up against hateful, evil people. And to end the video, the final point I want to make is an important point, is that we all need to be born again of the Spirit of Christ. And then rather than fighting one another as egos, as Christians, as Muslims, as blacks, as whites, as whatever, or as English or as Pakistani, we can unite and then defeat our enemy, which is the globalist elite, the Marxists, the ideological people subverting us. And then we can come together with a plan where we can all live in our own countries, be proud of our own countries as children of God. And we can allow a certain amount of immigration, and we can live in a world where we all have our own individual countries and ways, but we respect each other's ways of living and cultures. Rather than what the globalists are doing is sticking every single culture, race and ethnicity and religious beliefs all into same globalist countries such as the UK, and then there's just division and fighting and hatred everywhere because you got sex wars, you got race wars, you got religious wars, because we're all divided by these people rather than united in the spirit and then return to our natural traditions as much as we can. In terms of the Pakistanis can live in Pakistan, Indians live in India, English live in England for the most part, and then you have a small amount of migration, and naturally, you know, as English people marry Indians or whatever, then naturally they're just going to become more assimilated into the country that they're in. But I'm going off on a bit of a tangent, but you get the concept of my video, is just not giving way to hate. Okay, that's the point of my video today. Like the video if you like it, subscribe if you're new, comment below if you have any comments, and God bless everybody. Goodbye.